What you gonna do, brother? Five Podcast runs wild on you. Hey, joined by a very special guest, brother. We're joined by Mr. Devin Kelly, brother. So let's give him a big welcome and a thank you from the Thank You Five Podcast, brother.
Thank you for having me, big fella. I was not expecting that.
Take this thing off and stop this music.
I see what you.
So, again, guys, welcome to the Thank You Five Podcast. Today, we're talking all things wrestling, all things WWE. Now, Devin, off the rip, favorite wrestler of all time?
I might have to give it to Undertaker, big time.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah. That is fair. That is fair. Did you you have the network, right?
Yeah.
Did you watch The Last Dance?
Almost definitely.
The Last Ride.
I watched both of them. Same time.
It's always weird when I see wrestlers break kayfabe, and like someone like that breaking kayfabe.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty crazy.
Because he's Undertaker. I thought the nigga just didn't talk at all.
As Mark does not sit well with me.
His voice is OC high. I was not picturing that.
Yeah, compared to how he normally talks.
I was like, who is this? Type of Undertaker I know.
Like hearing people call him Mark is
a
thing.
And hearing that he's nice to people was shocking as hell.
Like that's like if they came out with one for Triple H and Young started calling him Paul instead of Hunter.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
I just found out his real name was Paul like a couple months ago. I was like, that's a lie. His name is really Hunter.
Now figuring that out.
Then I watched the thing where him and CM Punk was beefing in the ring. I don't know if it was scripted or not. He always is Paul. I feel something talking to Paul in the back. I was like, who?
It's his actual government.
I was like, sheesh, niggas are going in on each other.
I found that out a couple years ago because I definitely thought his name was Hunter. Like I thought it was Hunter Hearst Helmsley. I thought
everybody else his name is Bill. Batista's name is Dave. So I was like, okay.
But that's
really Hunter.
Batista, like just Batista. That's fine. Dave, because people know him as Dave. But if someone just calls Triple H Paul, that's pretty.
Damn, Paul. Paul looks peaceful. You look violent. Big Paul. Big in a suit about the pedigree. You named Paul.
Big literally.
Big Paul coming.
So
let's talk about that horrible match, man.
I'm sorry, what?
Let's talk about that horrible match.
Okay. So the first thing that we're gonna hit off the jump, Hell in a Cell just passed, and Jey Uso loses to Roman Reigns in an I Quit match inside Hell in a Cell.
Garbage.
I'm gonna tell you why that match worked, right? I think the fact that there's no audience and like everything is kind of real, just talkative, I don't think that plays in either of their favors because they have this habit of one talking to each other during the match, and it's like what are you saying? So on that aspect, I get it, but the match itself wasn't a bad match.
Okay, think about it this way. For a Hell in a Cell match, right?
Right.
These guys are basically they were in the back slapboxing each other where Roman Reigns was, but Jey, he just got dogged. His brother saved them 2 pay-per-views in a row. But they could have did that in a regular match on like Raw, SmackDown. That was a waste of a Hell in a Cell match and an opening match at that.
Yeah, that when I went back and looked, it did kind of throw me that was the first match off the rip.
I think they did like the last second substitute. They switched that to the first match. Right. But honestly, I'm glad it was. I'm really glad it was.
They could have had the match probably not, and it probably still could have been an I Quit match.
Yeah,
I guess not in Hell in a Cell, inside of Hell in a Cell. And then the fact they didn't use the microphone, I think that kind of worked against them too. But overall, the reason why I like this story arc so much is because of the fact that Roman is playing this heel thing finally the way he needs to.
One of the best heels ever.
Like, if anything, he's the top heel right now. But he should have did that like 4 years ago.
No, honestly, this how I feel like he's doing it fine. But when he was a heel back then, this how I know he was great at being bad. He got booed for 5 minutes straight and said one sentence, and that's it. That's the best. You don't do much after that. You're the best heel of all time.
What, a couple years ago?
Yes, and he just stood in the middle of the ring. You're the best heel ever.
That was during his heel turn, because for a while he was like the face that everyone hated.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was like the second Rocky Maivia when they were chanting "Die Rocky Die."
Mm-hmm.
Like you have this face that nobody likes. I think it's because they were trying to make him like a John Cena Rock hybrid.
Yeah, it wasn't working.
Just
he was smacking both of them.
Right.
Well, he was smacking John Cena and got destroyed with the play on words.
They weren't rocking with any of it.
It wasn't good.
The fact that now he has Paul Heyman to cut his promos for him, that plays a lot in his favor, because it's essentially the same thing that was happening with Brock Lesnar. Not to say that Brock Lesnar is terrible on the microphone, but because of who Brock is, he doesn't have to talk. He can.
Where did you go?
Paul Heyman before him.
Hold on, you went away.
I went away.
Yeah, all I can say is my face. What the hell?
If you click gallery, if you click the view in the top right corner, it should say gallery view. Because it's probably you probably have it in speaker.
Nah, somebody FaceTime me on my Mac.
Oh, okay.
Hold on. Okay, now I can only see. What the hell? Let me go back to the link and see if that popped back up. Because that's when it works. But you can go ahead and talk. I'm still listening.
Between the two matches that has happened thus far, obviously the first one was better.
Oh yeah.
I don't think adding his brother into the second one made sense.
It's unnecessary.
And then the fact that he quit just to stop his brother from getting choked out.
Then he got choked out, matter of fact.
My brother kind of dumb. Like that's kind of I wish they would have I wish they still would have had a mic, because it seemed like they were just whispering to each other. Nah, bro.
Yeah.
I don't quit, bro. Tell him I don't quit.
Ramos blowing me because where'd it go? It's like they made him like he's like a beast. Like he destroyed Braun Strowman. I don't like. I get they're trying to make him better, his character overall, but it made him like 2. He's like 3 Brock Lesnar's right now. I do not like that idea.
I don't really vibe with how WWE has been booking a lot of like these bigger stars. Because even you remember earlier this year when Goldberg beat The Fiend in like 30 seconds?
Yeah.
That was the dumbest thing could have ever done.
Like we know just for a couple seconds, but like, come on, dog.
No, but
you could at least had The Fiend crush him.
Not have won that match, especially after just coming off of his feud with Seth Rollins.
It didn't make sense.
Like,
you know, that's I don't like that they did.
What?
Well, this is off topic. What they did with Shinsuke Nakamura?
Mm-hmm.
How he's basically like how the Miz was a few years ago. He's one of the biggest wrestlers in the world, and now he's just Shinsuke, somebody's tag team partner. He's not how he used to be, like hot, like in NXT, right? Hot shit. First came to WWE, hot stuff. He turns heel, nothing happens with this man anymore. Not even the main wrestler to get a WWE title championship.
That feud with Styles could have gone so much longer, and it could have been so much better. But I've noticed that a lot of people don't have like that big stage presence.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're big for stuff like NXT. I was talking to a friend of mine a couple days ago about Samoa Joe.
Oh, I love Samoa Joe.
But he was great in NXT. Samoa Joe is built for a medium to small size crowd. Like
makes sense.
I couldn't see a Samoa Joe headlining a WrestleMania.
I feel like if he would have came to WWE a couple like during his TNA years, for sure he would have.
Probably.
That's when he could do all the flips and stuff. People were like, he was Samoa Joe. He would have been taken over.
Like the first Keith Lee.
Most definitely. Because I didn't even think of that. That's a great comparison.
And even still, Keith Lee shouldn't have honestly should have just stayed in NXT.
I like what they were doing. They let him like get a real taste of real people.
Which I get, but they don't write it good. They don't write it correctly, right?
They need to bring Paul Heyman back on to writing.
People that have gotten messed up by being on the main roster when they should have stayed at NXT.
Like Finn Balor.
Finn
I'm glad he went back. I'm very glad he went back.
The youngin is thriving now, right? Like the youngin is
better
5-star matches on a regular, and this is a heel Balor, like a heel.
Yes, I love him being a heel. I hope they don't bring up Adam Cole, Johnny Gargano. I hope they all stay at NXT. If they come up, I'm gonna be highly disappointed.
They all need to stay at NXT.
Well, how the hell do you get back to the? I'm up here clicking. I can't get back to the full screen at all. Like I can see your face, but I cannot get it back to how it was.
How was
it?
How was it before?
It was like the actual. I had all the option stuff at the bottom of the screen.
Right.
Now it's just like you're like a picture in picture.
Are you in like full screen right now?
No, you're like minimized, but I can still see. Let me click the link again. Open Zoom.
Am I on like the side of your screen?
Yeah.
So if I'm on the side of your screen, if you go to I think the top right where that is, do you see anything that says view?
No, there's no words on the picture box. It's just it's like a square to make you bigger, but it's not going into the line to completely shut you to be completely small.
I think I know what you're talking about, but it would have to be the same thing on my end for me to figure out how to do it.
But can you see me though?
Yeah, I can see you fine.
Oh no, I guess it's fine then.
How it's recording with us side by side, so that's how everyone else will see it when they watch this.
All right, bet.
So,
or about go ahead.
Yeah, honestly, the match itself, I give a 7. The storyline has the potential of being an 8 or 9, and this is what I think they need to do. They need to. Right now, Roman seems a little too. He seems a little too indestructible.
Mm-hmm.
I think they need to find a way to make him seem human again.
Bring the Rock in.
Maybe.
I seen a post. The Rock was like he'd be down for it. So did Roman said the same thing.
He would, but I think Jay needs to win at least one of these matches, even if it's a non-title match, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
And because right now they're making him look they're making him look like a lot of heart, but he just can't finish it.
Like he hasn't been wrestling all these years, like he's just about off the street.
Right.
They treat him like Santino Marella, basically. He's getting destroyed. He's getting destroyed with no respect.
Some of those highlights of Santino, some of these highlights.
That's stuff you find like a high school. They're trash.
I've seen him talk about it. Like he's literally said, like he was fine with it. Like he was fine, literally being the joke of the WWE.
I couldn't do it, man. What are your kids gonna say when they go to school? Your dad's Santino Marella.
Santino Marella.
Remember, he wasn't taken serious.
Last one, like was about to win.
Just threw his ass out. He got him like, what did you expect to happen? You're not going to main event anything, dog.
I think it was Elimination Chamber. He was in it. He was the last one with Daniel Bryan. He hit him with the Cobra, but still left Daniel kicked out.
That's the worst move ever.
He tapped out. Speaking of which, one of the dumbest preps. You lose me immediately off of that.
You losing with the designer sock. The sock had a face on it.
And then the turn.
How do you feel if he pinned you? If he pinned you, I would probably just quit. Give me a couple weeks off. If he pins you off of that move.
It was the equivalent to Mr. Sacco.
I'd rather Sacco than that. Like, at least actually, where Sacco is coming from is gross, but at least it's Mick Foley opposed to Santino.
But again, it's like a sweaty Mick Foley stomach. Like,
yeah. But why you gonna be like, wow, Mick Foley giving me Sacco? I'm on it. Like, His hand is in your face with his sock.
Yeah,
I'm a brother doing. You're like, it's Santino,
I
gross.
would rather get hit with Mr. Sacco than stunned by bitten by the.
Yeah, like, I couldn't fade that. I have too much pride. You'll have to catch me another time.
That's funny. That's funny. All right. So next thing that we got up, we have. Well, last time I did this, I had a segment called "Chopping and Not Chopping," and what I'm going to try to do is adjust it depending on the theme of the show. So today we have "Woo" or "Boo."
You got that.
I'm off. How many did I say? 3 points, and we will give either a "Woo" or a "Boo." Okay.
Got on with it.
One. Randy Orton and The Fiend.
Big woo. Big woo.
Absolutely.
I cannot wait to see that happen.
That joint is finna be ridiculous. However, I guess that low-key means that Randy Orton is about to lose the title.
Because look, you can't downplay Randy Orton. He's Randy Orton.
Can't downplay Randy Orton. How?
And you can't downplay the Fiend.
Yeah, you can't. Like, the youngin is high-key indestructible. I think ever since Wyatt created that character, I think he's only lost
Once. No, he beat. No. Didn't he face. Who did he face in Hell in a Cell and he won by DQ?
Seth Rollins.
Yeah, I thought he actually. Yeah, I only seen him lose once to Goldberg. That's it.
Think out of that, and then, well, you gotta think he's only had a handful of actual matches.
Yeah, he just destroyed everybody else.
Weird filmed stories, right?
Yeah, I don't like what they're doing to Alexa Bliss.
They're kind of trying to play like maybe a Joker, Harley Quinn vibe.
Yeah, but she plays it so bad. Yeah, I don't like her. She's so awkward.
Really?
She just like, oh, yeah, he's here.
I think
we know he's here.
I think she's playing it super because she's just so blank. I think that's working in her favor. Think of it like how AJ Lee used to be, right? Kind of just gypsy, but at the same time, Alexa is a little more demonic.
Yeah. I did like she did with Randy when it came to interview and she was playing like Fiend with him. I like that part though. That's what I do like.
Yeah.
But her slowly transitioning. Well, the first time she transitioned when she was mugging Roman Reigns from the back, I was like, okay, I like what she's doing. I can see it. And then when they actually linked up together, I was like, all right, you overdid it. You go back to being you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I didn't like about that. But Randy Orton and big woo. Love to see that match.
Okay. Thing number 2, The Miz winning the Money in the Bank briefcase.
Anything that involves the Miz is a boo for me.
What?
I've never liked the Miz,
bro,
in my life.
But there was literally no other way that they could save Otis. You can't make sense.
Otis deserves respect. Otis is big drip, big sexy, got the girl, had the girl. His man's turned on. He deserved to. Come on now, you gotta give him something.
That was Otis winning the Money in the Bank briefcase was the dumbest thing. And if you remember, that's like I told you before. Not to say that it was the Miz, but I was saying someone else should take it from him because having Otis as the champion makes no sense.
Yeah, at a time like this, where Roman is Roman and Randy are all like up high, it wouldn't make no sense unless she like caught him slipping after a match and pinned him.
He's not. Who's gonna push him like that? Like that? He's not carrying nothing. Having that thing was the smartest thing for them to do, and then losing it to the Miz makes a lot more sense too. You have someone that is a former WWE champion from cashing it in. So you can play with that either way. And then Instagram had posted something about like how he cashed in 2010. It's 2020 and we got a couple months left, so it wouldn't be the biggest shock in the world if he worked another storyline with Randy Orton. But I don't think that'll happen because he might be working this thing with the Fiend for a while.
Like, this what I heard about the Miz. He barely does anything. Skull crushing finale is the dumbest move ever. It's just a Russian leg sweep to the front.
It's not.
It is
Actually,
so bad. I hate that. Then that thing with him and John Morris. I hate that little fake Hollywood celebrity thing he has. I hate it. When I see him on TV, I just go. I leave.
let me tell
I
you,
come back when he's off.
I'm gonna tell you why the Miz is still relevant though, because I think it was on Talking Smack, like one of these little segments that they do on the network. And
Yeah.
Daniel Bryan had called him out because he was saying that he wrestles like a coward. But if you think about it, look at everybody. Even when Miz was a main eventer, but now he's still back in mid card. You look at his run from like 2010, really like 2009 onward when he tag teamed with the Big Show. He's consistently kind of just been there, right?
I thought they on that period, nobody else there really step up. They pushed him, and I also don't like Dolph Ziggler. They pushed them two together. I don't like them. So from that period where it was like a blank period, everybody was still developing to become who they are today. You had nobody else to push besides the vets, because the old era were leaving. All of the good ones are gone.
Right.
Everybody else is just becoming who they are, developing. And you have Miz and Ziggler's been around since they were youngest in the old age. We were still in their primes, so they were forced to become good. I hate them. They're not good.
I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why he's good though. One, Miz is has been one of the best heels ever, right? Maybe not ever.
Ever.
Well, yeah, ever. The Miz is a great heel because you hate him so much. He is a great heel. The Miz is the one
Oh,
you hate to see win.
I
You
hate to say win because who he is, but because it's his wrestling style.
hate heel, and you look at his track record. I think he's 8-time Intercontinental Champion, multi-time Tag Team Champion, United States Champion, former WWE Champion. Um, he hasn't been out for a major injury. He's essentially stayed out of trouble in terms of his personal life.
Hmm.
Like there's not really, and then he's one of those people that one he can sell, and the youngin can take a beating.
He deserves every beating he gets. I'm just gonna add that in. Everyone he gets, he deserves. I
I'm
can't stand him.
I'm fine with Miz winning the Money in the Bank briefcase, and I also will be fine with him winning the WWE title because there's a couple ways that they can play it. There's a couple ways that they can play it that I think would be pretty entertaining. I think they both involve repeating storylines. If he cashes in on Randy Orton back in 2010, feuding with Orton. If he cashes, or he wins if he cashes in on Orton, another feud with John Morrison. John Morrison can get another push, and those
Yeah.
two that can be a couple main events for like the next month or two until they figure out what's next.
But then that will push Drew McIntyre out the picture.
It would.
That'll be it because you can't just completely throw the X champ out the way. He got to get his rematch still.
Yeah,
He got to get his rematch.
does have to get. He is entitled to his rematch, but I
They
don't
never knew.
think he's gonna win it back.
I don't think he is. He's Randy Orton. He's never just gonna lose it.
Yeah, and I don't
Whenever a new champ, go ahead, go ahead.
think they're gonna push that storyline any further than the rematch, probably.
Yeah, he was getting dogged at the pay per view after getting thrown. Well, dropped off the side of the Hell in a Cell. I knew it was over at that point. That's what. But whenever a new champion comes around, you realize the Fame pops up. So no new champ is gonna last long, especially if you're on the same show as Daniel.
Right, because they're probably going to give the title to the Fiend. And if anything, they're probably just circling back around because how terribly they did him and Goldberg simply to set up for the Fiend and Braun Strowman.
They could have just the way they did that storyline. They could have just did that storyline off the cut. You didn't even need Goldberg for that one
Didn't like you could have
because
just
they were. Yeah,
it could have just
they
went straight from the Fiend winning to him feuding with Braun Strowman.
because they already have a history together, so it would have been that easy just to pop it. But you would have just had to have Braun Strowman initiate it opposed to the Fiend.
Right. I've also noticed that so you know the connections that they'll make with like whoever the Fiend usually is feuding with at the time is because they feuded with Bray Wyatt years ago, right?
I did peep that. He did it. Didn't he do it with John Cena?
Yeah, because remember
Mm-hmm.
that when Bray started singing, he's got the whole world in his hands. That's when he was trying to get John Cena basically to convert, not so much
Mm-hmm.
join the Wyatt family, but just embrace the dark side. Which
Mm-hmm.
John Cena didn't, and then he will beat him at WrestleMania. Fiend comes back. Fiend beats him at WrestleMania. Uh, did the same thing with Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman was in the Wyatt family, loses to the Fiend. Seth Rollins, when the Shield and the Wyatt family were feuding, Fiend beats Seth Rollins. Daniel did the same thing with Daniel Bryan. So now they're doing this again with Randy Orton, and they could literally only go with Fiend winning the title.
Well, I see him doing that. That's not how when Randy Orton beat him with Undertaker, he kept playing the mind games with him.
Right.
They have to do something like that. They can't just have him like suddenly crush him. He has to like play games with him over the next couple of weeks and
Absolutely.
then get it.
But because Wyatt naturally has always done that, I don't think it won't be anything that won't be entertaining.
I feel like it's always gonna be. As long as they don't do the damn match with that with the red lights, I'm fine. Other than that, I hated that match.
Yeah.
That was disturbing. You can't you can't do a match with all red. But go to your third one.
No, I think him doing it with Rollins worked in his favor. I don't like the music is the part that throws me off because it gets annoying after a while. It doesn't make me feel scared, but it's just irritating because it's like
Mm.
my ears are really sensitive.
I think after experience of Undertaker and Kane, you can't really be scared of anybody in wrestling anymore.
I don't know.
The thing about Undertaker and Kane, they scared the hell out of two generations of people. Three.
The fiend
Well, Undertaker more so.
the fiend is doing a pretty good job at that. So like
He's not doing bad, but think about it. The Undertaker and Kane intimidated people. So you kind of know, like, okay, if they can. I feel like Undertaker and Kane are here. Bray Wyatt, it's like he's here when it comes to the scariness. I get what they're trying to do with it. I like it.
were you
We'll
ever
get there.
boogeyman?
Hell no, I love the Boogeyman. I seen him in person. I loved it.
It's
It
just
was great.
it's just funny. Like it's just funny.
Imagine how. Oh my gosh. Mm-mm. Couldn't fade it if I was him either. Never.
Okay, so the third thing I have on here, pull up the list again. The splitting up of the New Day.
That's a big boo. It's sad to see them break up.
Is a boo for me too.
I mean, actually, it's a mixed one kind of because you give Big E a chance to have his because Kofi had his own little run. Big E kind of deserves his chance because he's Big E. Like, come on now, who wouldn't love to see Big E crush somebody and win a belt finally?
But who? Like who could he run with that would make sense?
I don't know honestly.
You know what I would find interesting? It'll probably never happen. But if there was some stuff going on with Big E and the Hurt Business, I think that could be a nice little twist.
I would love to see that a group of black men destroying everybody.
I think a lot of people aren't giving the Hurt Business enough credit, but this is
I
a
like
this is
them.
this is a faction with all black people, and they're actually kind of like they're
And MVP kind of boosted everybody's careers in that group again.
like he definitely made Shelton Benjamin and Bobby Lashley relevant again.
Yeah, like he just like Bobby Lashley's like a guy who just come in like they'd jump somebody, he'd be there.
Right,
He'd dog somebody a little bit, and then he'd just disappear.
right.
But now he's a champ.
He's a
You
champ.
can't.
He's getting a lot more screen time, and not just he's not the butt. He's not like a joke character anymore.
Exactly. So he's like he's not how he used to be, but he's on a different platform from how he used to be when he was by himself in his first run. But I
Right,
like how he is now.
right. And I like their feud with Retribution, even though I don't really like Retribution.
I like him because what they did with Ali. They gave him a chance to step up.
Yeah, but it reminds me of. Do you remember the Aces and Eights?
No, not really.
Aces. So that's TNA though. The Aces and Eights were basically TNA's version of the NWO.
Was that with James Storm and Chris Harrison though?
No, that was Bully Ray, uh, Kennedy, Devon. Who else was in it? Mike Knotts. It was a
If I
lot.
go back, I feel if I go back and watch, I know what you're talking about. I probably will after this. That's since you brought it up.
Um, yeah, but I like the feud that they're doing. But in terms of Big E, I don't see him. I don't see him getting to a main event. Maybe another mid card championship run, so maybe another Intercontinental title run.
I wouldn't mind that.
They choose him to feud with the Hurt Business, maybe a U.S. title run. But I don't think any main event status yet, if at all.
If he does, somebody will have to get hurt. If he can't just step up and take, it's too many big names relevant right now.
Right. Because I wouldn't see him going against Roman Reigns for anything.
And winning.
And winning.
Well, unless him winning, if anybody, it'd be like a longer feud with like Randy Orton if he wants to win anything. If any of the top guys, maybe Drew McIntyre. Maybe that's a big maybe though, and maybe a big maybe for Randy Orton.
Yeah.
What they should do is have him and Keith Lee start battling.
Just two big dudes. Just two.
Yeah, because Keith Lee trying to get his rise, and Big E trying to get his singles run going.
Just two big black men.
That'd be a good thing to see. I will pay to see that pay-per-view.
So what you said, I think you went Woo for Randy Orton Fiend,
Mm-hmm.
Woo for the Miz, and Boo for the split.
Yeah, man. I love to see them together.
I do like the element of them switching titles with Also, and I also do like the fact that it's two black tag teams that have champions currently. That's ever
I think that's gonna be like the Nation of Domination. I'm like, nah, you can't do that right now.
Right. I don't think that's ever happened, but I just think that's just a dope aesthetic that two black tag teams that are champions.
You know what they were doing? They're bringing them all together. Because separately, they're not. Apollo had his own. He had a little bit of a spark, but now that they're all together again, where they all together. I know it wasn't Apollo. It was Apollo's not with them. Who's with them now?
Are you talking about the Hurt Business?
Yeah.
Are you talking cuz at the end?
Yeah.
Fourth one?
I know his dad, Cedric Alexander. That's his name.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like how they are together now. But the next part that really got me excited to do this interview, Ryan. The Hills, dog.
Yes.
So
we're going to move into our top five heels. So you already have a list?
I have a list with honorable mentions also.
How many honorable mentions?
It's like 3.
Okay.
So I'm going top.
Are these in order or are these no order?
No order.
Okay.
Okay, first, Eddie Guerrero. That was the most rudest shit ever. I can't do that was OC rude. 2, Edge.
Okay.
3, Triple H. Like when you think of Triple H, he's just like she's Triple H.
When I think Triple H, I think bad Triple H. I never think Triple H.
Shawn Michaels. He switched music, Hulk Hogan, and beating the hell out of people for fun, and I loved it. Then I'm gonna give it to Brock Lesnar. He's Brock Lesnar.
Okay.
He ruined Kofi Kingston in 4 seconds.
But now, who are your honorable mentions?
Undertaker, his little he was like he wasn't bad, but he was a badass.
Well, no,
so I put him in that.
There was this point in his career when he lined up with the corporation back in the 90s, and he had the Legion of Darkness. That was probably his longest stint as a heel, right? So at that point, yeah, he lined himself up with the Darkness with the corporation, and he was feuding with Stone Cold. So
I remember he crucified him.
So at that point, that's the only heel Undertaker that I know.
Yeah. And then next, I'm gonna give Randy Orton because he kissed Stephanie.
So
kick the boss in the hair.
Honorable mention on your list.
Yeah,
Wow.
because like he's already been bad, but the people I said they did like things you wouldn't expect. Like you wouldn't expect Eddie Guerrero to do the brain bust on Rey Mysterio, pill his mouth off, and then try to claim his son. Edge had a live sex celebration and disrespected everybody he went up against. I seen him do the concerto on Ric Flair, face like the opposite way. So his face is coming out with a chair. And it's like Randy has always been bad, so I'm not going to like give him like the top spot. He's rarely good. He was only good for like when he first won the heavyweight championship against Evolution. Other than he's been bad, I'm going to always expect him to be bad.
Right.
Kick the whole McMahon family in the head. Triple H, everything. Take out endless legends. He just took out 3 more again. I'm gonna give Batista, but this is his recent thingy when he beat Ric Flair because I found that funny.
Right.
On his birthday, he disrespected him highly. That's my top. That's my 3 honorable mentions.
Okay. I'm not the biggest fan of your 5, but if anything, I think Orton could be switched out for Guerrero. Other than that, I'm content with your list. No, I think Orton could be switched out with Shawn.
I wouldn't mind that one.
As your top 5 heels of all time is kind of wild.
It's just the thing that they did you wouldn't expect them to do. That's why I put them at all times. People who are already expecting, well, Edge he wasn't always bad, but he's Edge. You cannot deny Edge for being Edge.
Think about Edge, you think about heel Edge.
Yeah.
When I think about Shawn Michaels, I don't think heel Shawn Michaels though.
That makes his heel so significant for me because he's Shawn fucking Michaels.
Okay.
What's up, Holmes? You got your 5?
I do have my 5. Mine's are in order. Number 1, off the rip, greatest heel of all time, Nature Boy Ric Flair. If people agree that Ric Flair is the greatest heel of all time, then they don't know their history. They need to.
Ric Flair is just he's top 2 in everything.
WCW when Ric Flair was a heel, the top guy and a heel. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, I have Randy Orton.
Respectable.
Essentially same reasons. Randy has just been always a heel. And then the fact that if you look at the roster now, for him to still be relevant for as long as he's been here is crazy.
I think it's Jack going on like what 17? Like 17 years.
Like Orton is the last of the ruthless aggression era.
Yeah.
If you look,
I didn't even peep that.
Look at how Taker and Triple H and were the end of the Attitude Era. Orton is the last of that ruthless aggression era. Those early 2000s.
Kind of wild. I never really
the fact that he's champion right now, like that's crazy to think about. Number 3, I have Edge. Number 3, I have Edge. My 4 and my 5 were kind of interesting because I'm kind of being biased. My number 4, I have The Rock. Now, a lot of people sleep on The Rock as a heel. A lot of people know The Rock as the jabroni beaten, yada, yada, and yada. But doing that stuff, people forget that he was a heel. When Rock lined himself up with the Nation of Domination, comes back, that's his heel turn. That goes from like 97 up until
was it 2000 or like 99?
Probably like 99, because I think around 99 is when he turned face again. But that stint from like 97 to 98 lines himself up with the Nation, breaks off from the Nation, turns into The Rock instead of Rocky Maivia. Then lines himself up with the corporation and becomes the corporate champion. Starts doing all of these catchphrases and stuff that people love, but as a heel. Like he was just one of those heels that you rooted for, but even still, it doesn't change the fact that he was doing some pretty wild stuff. And then once he went Hollywood in like what 2003,
Yeah.
healed.
Yeah.
At that point, he didn't have to go for any more world titles. He didn't have to win any major matches. He was strictly there to help put other people over, and that does. And he's one of the best at that too. Because he's one of those, he makes a lot of people who aren't really that good look really good. And then number five, I wanted to pick someone else from like the old days, but number five, because I don't really know that much, I picked Kurt Angle.
Kurt Angle.
Kurt is because along with him being a heel, Kurt was just one of the best flat wrestlers at that time. A lot of people don't peep that Kurt wasn't in WWE before he went to TNA. And then even in like this 2 years that he was there, wins the European title, feuds with Stone Cold, wins the World Wrestling Federation title, feuds with The Rock. His match against Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 21, arguably the greatest WrestleMania match.
I love that match.
That feud was just a great feud. And then Kurt was just one of those people that was a bad guy that you found funny, but he just played it so well.
He was like a weenie.
Right.
He was the OC weenie. We're trying to be bad.
Right. It's like you didn't want to believe him. It's like you didn't think he was a bad guy, or you didn't take him seriously. But again, great villain. Great villain. Honorable mentions. I would probably say The Miz. The Miz is one of my honorable mentions. I love The Miz as a heel. I'm sorry. I can't help it.
Miz is not.
I can't help it.
He's not a real person. I'd rather see Stevie Wonder play 33 than watch a Miz match.
My second honorable mention is Chris Jericho.
I like that one. I really like the Chris Jericho one.
Jericho too. Chris Jericho off his hair and started wearing suits. I'm the best in the world at what I do.
I like that one. I like it.
And if I had to pick a third honorable mention, Vince McMahon. I know he's not. But Vince McMahon.
He's ultimately the biggest villain of all time.
Only reason he's getting the honorable mention because he's not a wrestler. Man is not. Would like if I had to just put that 6-man slot, Vince McMahon is getting it.
He is a demon. Think about it. He's also made everybody we just named a villain because he's Vince McMahon.
Right. So the next thing I have on your top 5 are your top 5 tag teams.
Well, number 1, I'm going to DX. Okay. Number 2 is the 4 Horsemen.
Huh?
Number 2 is the 4 Horsemen.
Okay, so let me specify.
You want just 2?
Like 2-person tag teams. I'm not including factions because that could be
okay. 2. Okay, so we'll do it that way.
Person tag team, so you can even if you just name who the 2 people are. So I know like DX is technically like they're technically a faction, but I'm assuming you're referring to Shawn and Triple H.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so if we just doing the 2, I'm gonna move them back to number 3. Number 3. Yeah, I'm moving number 3. Number 1 will be Dudley Boys.
Okay.
2, Edge and Christian.
Okay.
Then it's gonna be DX. Jeff and Matt. Undertaker and Kane. That's how I'm gonna do it.
That's not a bad list because I definitely had the Dudleys as my number 1 tag team as well. Mm-hmm. People forget that them youngins have championships upon championships.
They're gonna whoop people since like 95.
Before that, because like let's not talk about ECW. Like
they realized through that man Spike through a burning table.
So my number 1 was definitely the Dudleys. Essentially, from 3 backwards is where we defer.
Yeah.
Number 1 and number 2, I have to say the Dudleys, and I have to say Edge and Christian. The Hardys actually don't make my list. I'm gonna tell you what.
What?
Tell you what. My number 3 is the New Day.
I thought we were doing twos.
So more specifically, so that would be like Biggie and well, yeah, that technically well, they would be a faction because 3 of them. And
Yeah.
amongst the 3 of them, this is how they won titles. Okay, so I guess they would have to be an honorable mention. So that's fair. That's fair. I'll give you that. This was a tag team that not a lot of people peeped. Number 3, Stone Cold and Triple H.
I love them. They were a beat leader with a steel chair.
The tag team out about.
They gave no fucks, dog.
I think they had the tag team titles. I think Stone Cold was the World Wrestling Federation champion, and Triple H had another title. I don't know if it was the European title or what.
Probably Intercontinental.
Yeah, one of those. I just remember them having 2 major championships along with their regular tag team titles.
They took over the whole industry.
Is that number 3? So number 4, I'm going to go with Harlem Heat.
Okay.
Booker T and Stevie Ray.
Mm.
Again, like I gotta pay homage. I gotta pay homage to the OGs, right? And then number 5, and I will stick by this tag team until the day I die. The Bar, Sheamus and Cesaro.
What?
Sheamus and Cesaro. Because of the fact that youngins could just flat out wrestle.
I just realized we were both neither of us said the Road Warriors.
Because I don't know much about the Road Warriors.
You don't watch their matches? Like on YouTube or anything?
I don't. Yeah, my father would probably say the Road Warriors. I don't know anything about the Road Warriors. Rest in peace to the OGs. I think they both have passed on since.
Yeah.
In terms of honorable mention, yeah. So I guess you would have to say the Road Warriors, but we're not saying the Road Warriors. We're saying we're saying the Dudleys. But the reason why I say the Bar, and I think it's because of the fact that one, they teamed up off just some randomness because you wouldn't expect them just to be a tag team, but the feuds that they had with the New Day, and then the feuds that they had with the Usos. Because for that little while when they split brands, when it was tag team champions and Raw tag team champions, those 3 kind of basically circled between both shows and carried that division for a really long time. Probably up until the Hardys returned. It was those 3 tag teams for years. And like I said, the youngest can just wrestle. Like Sheamus and Cesaro. They don't just set the bar. They are the bar.
All right, you lose points for that one, Ryan.
Last 5. Top 5 finishers. So this can include submissions.
Okay. Of course, it's going to be the spear.
Number 1?
Yeah, Goldberg spear to be exact.
Whose spear?
Goldberg spear.
You're a cat. You are a cat. Where's my cat? Okay.
It's gonna be his spear.
Smooth cat.
Sweet Chin Music.
Sweet Chin Music as number 2.
Shawn Michaels, yes.
Okay.
Give me the people's elbow, the stunner, and then the pedigree.
Terrible.
That's not. You have to think about it. Goldberg spear ripped people in half.
Oh my gosh.
I should say slash jackhammer because it came in combinations. But
combination. The spear was more so like the signature into the finish.
Yeah.
But I'll accept it.
But the Sweet Chin Music is like, come on now.
So the Sweet Chin Music is on my list though. I can't front and say the Sweet Chin Music isn't on my list. So number 1, the RKO.
I forgot about that.
Between the RKO and the stunner, everyone has been hit with one. Men, Tall people, short people, everybody has either been stunned in their life or RKO'd at one point or another.
Two best RKO's was Seth Rollins on Christmas, and then the one with he hit Nia Jax.
No.
Best RKO's for me. The most two disrespectful ones.
Best RKO's are Evan Bourne's.
Oh yeah.
Laying on the ground and just enough. That's one. And number two, I would say Seth Rollins. The Nia Jax funniest one because it just transpired up to that point.
But his face afterwards, he like, yeah, I just hit a woman. I think he cares.
Number two, the ankle lock, Kurt Angle.
Okay.
If you look back, Angle has literally made almost every Hall of Famer that he's wrestled tap out.
Yeah.
Made Brock tap out. He's made Shawn tap out. He's made
Eddie
tap out. He's made Triple H tap out. He's made Mysterio tap. He's made Kane tap. Like
he made everybody take things down.
Number
four.
Four?
Yeah.
What did I say number two was?
It was Arcade.
No, it's number three. This is number three.
Yeah, because it's RKO ankle lock. Okay.
Ankle lock is number two. Number three, I have the Tombstone.
Okay, well, I forgot about that one too.
Strictly because of the streak. They're out of the 21 that he's won, out of the 21 and 0, I think like 3 were won by Hell's Gate. I think one was won via DQ. Every other one that you saw, it was from a Tombstone power driver. It was just it was a move that's no one else does a Tombstone.
Yeah, signature like you know that, right?
Power driver, you can do a choke slam, you can do a super kick and it not be sweet music, and you can do a spear. Nobody does a Tombstone power driver, and if they do, you're either
you're Kane
or you're Kane. Like there's no in between. So that was number three. Number four, I have the Sweet Chin Music.
That's very low.
I know. I know. But in comparison to the and number five, I would probably say the Stone Cold Stunner. Honorable mentions include the Rock Bottom and Edge's spear. Edge had the best spear.
What?
And that went into his spear.
He had the most dramatic spear.
Yeah, and that's because that's what is entertaining. Just run at you, and that jank wouldn't even look good because it was just
it's in half.
It just like you just fell backwards. Edge's spear, like he had to set up. People would sell it. Like when Goldberg would spear people, they would just fall back. When Edge would spear people, you would see them fold and then fall.
All you see was blonde hair flip.
Everything about Edge's spear, the setup, the eyes, the hair flip in the corner, just everything about the spear. But it's an honorable mention. It's not on the top five.
I didn't have honorable mention.
The Stunner is like the vibe is the RKO. Anyone can get one. Anyone can get one. It's just a move that you associate with that person the minute you see them. Because people aren't around hitting people with pedigrees.
You're right.
In high school are RKOing whoever they see, or they're hitting anyone with a stunner. They don't care.
If I had to make an honorable mention, this is all the wrestling. I'm gonna put the Canadian Destroyer in.
Okay.
I love the Canadian Destroyer.
Okay.
Figure 4 leg lock. Ric Flair, of course. Nobody's gonna really do it. Let's see. F5.
F5. Yeah. F5. The return though. His F5 now was trash, but
Yeah.
he was the next big thing. That
True
joint,
this.
that joint was actually pretty.
You were getting thrown in the air. Now he does it multiple times, but back then it's just one big ass, and you're gone.
And then and then they could take that better. Like he would do it and they would fall flat. Like that thing was pretty.
Hurt it as hell.
You said your favorite wrestler was who?
Undertaker.
Undertaker's your favorite wrestler of all time.
It's a thing between him and like Stone Cold, mixed with a hint of Jeff Hardy.
I can't
But
fuck for those except Jeff Hardy.
I love Jeff Hardy, man. The way he just risks his body. I love Jeff Hardy.
Either of those, honestly.
I love him with a passion. I still love Jeff Hardy. I just hate how they disrespect him now with his alcohol problems. The rudest story ever.
The alcohol thing is actually really funny.
That's wild.
It's not
He did.
funny.
He just got out of what's it called? AA meetings. He just like when he came back to WWE, he was found in a stairwell passed out. He went to class and he came back. They're gonna make this his storyline.
Have you seen when he had a match with Sting and he came out high?
Bro, I watched it on TNA. Sting was pissed.
Sting was pissed. Bischoff was pissed. Literally, like everybody was.
Like, why would you come out like you're the main event? The match was like 4 minutes.
Dude, it so
fella.
pink.
These are high stakes. I'm gonna get high. That's what he had to be thinking. There's no way in hell.
High stakes. I thought I was doing what I was supposed to do.
I get high. High stake match. There's a high chance I win this match. Imagine, bro. I will cuss the nigga out. I'm not paying him for it coming to the show at all. I don't care what you're not getting the check.
I can't remember how they. I don't even know if Bischoff had saved that match. I think he had just came out there and just started going off.
Yeah, when he can't, then he come on and talk to Sting for like a second in his ear.
Because that wasn't scripted. Like Sting saw it. So Hardy's comes out and he's out of it. So the match starts. Sting literally walks up to him, tries to start the match, and Hardy's out of it. Sting literally just turns him around, hits him with the Scorpion Death Drop, and literally puts all of his weight on him so he can't kick out.
I love that part, God.
It ended in like 30 seconds.
If I would have paid to go to that damn pay-per-view and that's your match you waited for, I would ask for a refund. I know you're not going to get it, but shit.
Hardy has had great matches on TNA. I think he had one with Kurt Angle that not a lot of people know about. I can't remember the name of the pay-per-view, but that joint went, I think, like 40 minutes because it was a 30-minute time limit that they timed out because there wasn't a winner, and it went like to 2 extra overtimes.
Was that lethal lockdown?
I don't know, because it wasn't inside of a cage.
It was like a big review, like a main joint.
No, it wasn't Bound for Glory or Slammiversary.
What the hell do they have? I can't think of it. It's been else I watched TNA pay-per-views. I don't know. I think about TNA. I think about Kurt Angle.
We'll find it quickly before we finish. I don't think it was just it may have just been a regular TV match. Yeah, it may have just been a regular like televised match.
Like an Iron Man match. I don't know why I can't find it. Yeah, most likely. Final resolution. That's what I keep saying. Come up.
What?
I keep saying final resolution, but I don't see Kurt Angle. I can see Jeff Hardy Iron Man match.
So I'm looking at it right now, and it timed out, but I think it was just a regular televised, like a TV match. Well, it says TNA Reaction. I don't know if that's a pay-per-view.
No, it's part of the show.
Yeah, I think this was just like a regular Thursday when they aired it. The match it went to like a double decision. They restarted it. So this was back in 2010.
10, damn. I ain't even 10 ain't damn. I think it was what? Way back in WWE back then.
Yeah. I think we finished it all. I think we made it to an hour though.
An hour?
Oh yeah, but I'm posting it.
Oh, bad.
That's the point of a podcast. You just watch people talk. Not to mention, like a lot of times, most podcasts, half of the conversation isn't the conversation. Half of it is
Yeah.
all game before they start. So, with that, are there any last minute plugs that you want to throw in before we finish? Where can the people follow you for any other information? Oh,
Uh,
by the way, this youngin makes some pretty fire content in terms of photography. I played
oh yes, Instagram.
a guy, and they they're there. So where
Tell the models I need people.
page at?
Instagram is devo.nkelly on Instagram.
Mhm.
Photography page. Main page is juiced up dev. Juiced up underscore dev, all lowercase. Please follow if you're a model. Then I need people to take pictures of. I got a lot of photo shoot ideas I need people to pull up with. I need people to meet and expand businesses. So yeah, hit me up.
Oh, I haven't forgotten about your song.
Anybody else? Hmm?
I haven't forgotten about your song either.
Oh, bet that. Oh yeah, I do have to cash up you that the break for that. Let me know. Let me know when it's ready.
We'll talk about that next time. So with that, again, thank you, Devin. Thank you, everyone that watched, and thank you, Five. And